Hi, Pat Smarto from the Fox Waterway Advisory Committee, and I'm here with Kathy, who is a waterfront homeowner on the chain, and we're going to highlight something that she did in her own backyard, which will help offset stormwater and flooding on the chain. So Kathy, what did you put in here in your yard?
I planted a natural area with plants that love water. This used to be an area that collected a lot of the runoff that came from the street. We'd be standing in a soggy, boggy area right now that was just harboring mosquitoes and biting insects. So I've used a lot of plants in the last 2 to 4 years to create a rain garden in which the runoff can travel through.
So one of the reasons that you want to implement something like this in your yard, whether you live on the water or you live within our watershed plan, is it can have a positive impact on both the lake water, but as well as your groundwater and drinking water. It's important for us to filter and capture stormwater because it is a serious issue in both Lake and McHenry County. We're also here today with Ann Baston, who is a member of our advisory committee, and Ann is our go-to plant person. And Ann, if you could tell us a little bit about your experience and why we depend on you so much.
Well, I'm a wildlife ecologist by degree, and so I studied plants and animals in relationship to each other and their habitats. And so what we're looking at here is actually a bioswale. What it does is it takes the water runoff from this private homeowner and filters the water as it slows it down so it doesn't come rushing down into her yard. The other thing you could also do to slow water down is a rain garden. So if you have nowhere for the water to go and no natural water course for the water to leave your property, then you would have a rain garden that would keep the water on your property and filter it through the soil and the roots. And you're looking for plants with long, deep root systems, mostly native, but you can, as you can see, you can intermix with non-native species, which also will hold the soil. They'll take the nutrients out of the water before it gets to whatever the water source is, and help reduce the impact on pollution and debris that reaches whatever water source you're going towards.
It's very common for homeowners to try to push water away from their houses, whether it is into a waterway like the chain or out into a storm drain. And we kind of want to touch on why it's important to filter your water first.
Especially if it's the first water of a long dry period. All the pollutants, debris, and nutrients are in that first flush of water that comes off your roof, that comes out of your gutters, that comes off the roadways, and comes off your yards. So all of that helps feed the nutrients in the water source that you're getting the water to. So when you flush all your water straight off your yard and off your house into the water, you are feeding that algae that you see in the middle of summer. So filtering it will help lessen the blow and lessen the impact on the algae and other species that pollute the water. We're going to talk about some of the plants that have been used here that she got either free or paid low price for and that work really well in this area.
My favorite is the buttonbush, and I got that actually at a sale through Lake County for native plants, and it is a great pollinator with the bees. And actually some of my freebies that I got came in with the flood. And we have
blue flag iris.
Yes, and I also have yellow. And we have jewelweed, which isn't blooming yet, but we'll get little orange snapdragon flowers on it. There is native, help me with this.
Spiderwort.
Spiderwort that loves water also, all free. Tansy, which spreads crazy, is an herb used for many things. Loves it here. And coneflowers.
Yep. Another native good for monarchs is the milkweed.
This is all 3 to 4 years old. Some of the plants are only 2 years old. Weeding is very easy. Husband weed whacks where we want it to stop, and it takes care of itself. There's no weeds in there actually.
There's no room for weeds.
There's no room. That's right. And in my bioswale here, the water comes down the hill actually from the street and the road, and it flows all the way down the backyard through the hostas, through all these plants into the dry creek, which as it rains fills up with water and slowly seeps out into the plants surrounding it. Ferns are a big help, hostas are a big help, the dogwood is a big help. And after heavy rains the last 2 days, it's completely dry today.
So Kathy, really ultimately as a homeowner, this was a big project for you. Why did you do it?
Did it because the quality of our yard was just a soggy, messy, muddy, mosquito-ridden pit all the time. And you couldn't come out and enjoy the yard at all. Now it's beautiful. It's provided habitat for a lot of things, from bunnies to toads to frogs, and we can walk in our yard.
Not only does a project like this obviously take a yard that's unusable, marshy, sloppy, and turn it into a beautiful oasis, it also helps our watershed by filtering water, slowing it down, helps with flooding. There's so many positive reasons to do this. And if you're wondering if your yard was targeted as part of the overall watershed project plan, please go to the link below. And you can actually pull up a map and see where we identified places for water gardens or bioswales, both in neighborhoods as well as in villages. So thanks so much for listening, and thank you, Kathy, for sharing your yard.
You're welcome, and I wanted to add one thing.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be a professional gardener, and you don't have to do it all at once. This was a few years of stages that we took to get to this point, and I like gardening, but I don't spend all my time out here, so anybody I think can do it.
And anything you do is an incremental improvement, which cumulatively can absolutely have a positive effect overall. Thanks so much.